Special Laws, Ordinance, Zoning, and Permits Committee meeting. It's March 24th, and it's at 6:30. All members are present. Do we have the agenda or the minutes from last time?
No, because it's a special meeting.
Oh, that's right. My apologies. You're right. You're right. Is there anything to add to the agenda
No,
today?
Can't do that.
Special.
Oh, that's right. Special. Yeah, you're right. With that, I entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So approved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. The agenda is approved. Let's just go straight into the first item on the list here. Council rules. What this amounts to is a change to one section of the council rules, which pertains to, how would I word that, to the auxiliary or the hierarchy of the president of the council, be that as from going from just the president of the council to president pro tem to a third individual on this council to act in their stead, just in case there's a issue of word escapes me. This absence.
Well, there's both absence and also a conflict of interest, or potential conflict of interest.
Correct. And that change amounts to is the third individual would be that most senior individual on council.
Cumulative.
Yeah, correct.
Cumulative. So if they were on and then off and back on, all their times
Would be
considered.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there any discussion on this? This is the only change to this.
I'd say if that's the only change, we should move it on to full council.
I'll second that.
Okay,
That's a
motion's been made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. This will be sent on to full council for their consideration. Next thing on the agenda then would be ordinance 2020-17, which is the Port Authority, I'll just read this verbatim. Entitled ordinance authorizing the safety service director to enter into a land transfer agreement
You agreed?
to transfer property to the County Port Authority and declare an emergency. I understand, and Tom, would you like to just fill us in real quick? I think this is that property that's out behind escapes me right now.
Sure.
Valero.
Valero. It's the northwest corner of those set of acres that are owned by two people. I think the northern farmers tying in as it relates to the drainage agreement that will be effective here. I really think this is something we've talked about. This is actually the transfer. We agreed our intent to do this, and this is the actual legal description and paperwork that go with that. So I think
That's what I'm saying. You're right.
we already agreed to do it in concept, I think.
That's absolutely true. What this is a negotiated transfer agreement, which is what you do when you're transferring land like this. Between the City of Guyan and the Guyan Port Authority, it has been negotiated between the two of us. It incorporates things that the mayor and I talked about that the city would like in there. And as of this afternoon, it had been agreed to on the other side. And we are able to present this. And what this does is both adopts the ability for Nikki to enter into this particular agreement, but then if that is the case, to enter into the deed to actually transfer the property.
And this property, as defined in the ordinance, is not needed for a municipality.
You've already made that decision.
Right,
Your
which you're right.
resolution.
In
Any discussion?
Yeah, in this agreement, is there any negotiation about us being able to retrieve that land if something would happen to that project?
Yes.
And that project did not go?
Well, it certainly is the case that we can retrieve it if there's found to be any kind of issues with the transfer. Are you talking about something where we would be able to retrieve it if it wasn't developed after a certain number of years or something like that?
A certain period of time, yes.
Okay, that's not in here. Nothing.
I do see in there, first option purchase.
We do get, if they're going to transfer the property, the city is able to be first in line to get it. They can't transfer it without us having the option to reacquire it. As has been described to me, I think that there's attendant with the kind of money they're getting from the state of Ohio, there are some certain obligations that are being entered into by the Port Authority in terms of how the property will be used. And, you know, the Port Authority, again, has a mission which is consistent with the best interests of the city, but it is what it is. If there's additions to be made, then that's the case. But
once this property is transferred to them, who's going to, I see a section 5 here about taxes, who's going to be responsible for those taxes?
as in a typical way, it will be divided on the date of closing. We'll be responsible eventually when it's billed to us for the taxes for 2020 to the date of closing. They will be subsequent to that.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Trish told me yesterday, was it $248 a year tax?
I believe so, close.
Something like
On a
that?
bare piece of parcel.
Yeah.
Mr. Richard, if I might just add a little bit to what the law director said. The condition that the state will put on the Port Authority is that this be used for a recreational purpose, either the rec center or a recreational purpose over the next 15 years. So that's in addition to what Tom said, there's the other side of it that protects the city, that it's not, it can't be sold in the interim for anything, any use other than a recreational purpose. So I don't know if it answers all the questions, but
And that's because freeze dollars are involved in this? Is there
No.
a reason for that?
no, it's not, there's no freeze dollars involved. The reason for the, are the state capital bill dollars. And they come through ODNR, and that's a requirement that they put on the use of the funds.
What do you mean there's no freeze dollars? Because we've talked about the freeze fund liquidating part of the freeze foundation for this project, so that makes freeze dollars involved in my mind.
Well, it might be that in your mind. This really has to do with the land transfer. So,
Well, I just asked a question about that.
yeah.
Go ahead.
If there's no further comments, or I suggest we move this on to full council.
I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Triplett. Anybody second?
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Baldwin second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Ordinance 2020-17 will be moved on to full council. Since that's the end of everything that's on the agenda for this special meeting, because of some issues, we will not announce a next meeting right at the moment. It will be to be announced. So with that, I will entertain a motion to, Mr. Triplett made the motion
I'll
to
second.
adjourn. Second by Mr. Baldinger. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, and we are adjourned at
6:39.
6:39. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in early.